All right, Snapshots podcast listeners, welcome to another edition. This week's episode is going to be about multi-sport athletes. We're in that spring, early summer part of the calendar where a lot of players are either pushing their way through summer programming with hockey or they're expanding their athletic horizons and playing some other sports. As always, we got to thank our sponsors, Mr. Lemon Wax, hand-poured American-made wax for your player to get that tact, feel, and grip on their stick. Grip it and rip it with Mr. Lemon Wax. Also, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, a wonderful organization operating throughout the United States, offering huddles, groups, counseling, and much more to develop your Christian athlete. Look for a huddle near you. Now, multi-sport athletes, why these athletes win long-term. Some of the best hockey players in the world didn't play hockey 12 months a year. In fact, many elite athletes played multi-sports growing up. Today, we're going to talk about some multi-sport athletes, how they develop faster, they stay healthier, and they enjoy the game much longer. The myth I see a lot now is that early specialization leads to the better and more enhanced players. Every single rink that stays open year-round has to be profitable. The enormous costs associated with maintaining ice in all sorts of different climates, your power, your electricity, those things are very real. So finding programming to fit those slots is what every rink manager is dreaming about at this time of the year. But does it mean it's right for your kids? I don't know. I have feelings on that. But I don't necessarily see in the long term how that benefits to play and open yourself up to burnout, play 12 months of the year. Studies from the American Medical Society for Sports Medicine and USA Hockey have consistently found that early specialization, meaning just playing one sport, increases overuse injuries, burnout, mental fatigue, dropout rates. The goal isn't to create the best 12-year-old, which often players and parents do when they compare their kid to the other kids who are doing things. The goal is to create the best 20-year-old or 18-year-old or somewhere in that range where you're stepping into adulthood still with an appreciation and love for the game. Now, the scientific benefits of multi-sport participation is overall athleticism. Stuff like soccer for your footwork and conditioning. Soccer is amazing for your conditioning. Lacrosse, vision, spatial awareness, hand-eye skills. Baseball, rotational core power. Hand-eye coordination, obviously. Certainly if you're a goaltender, being able to catch pucks in your glove or make contact with the ball if you're a pitcher. Those things are huge for baseball. Basketball, agility, decision-making. Rebounding is much like defending in the D zone, so understanding space, time, things like that. And tennis is such a great game. Reaction time with tennis. These skills transfer back to hockey, every single one of them. Now, reducing injuries. This is a big thing that now with the advent in the last 20 years of really focused on a butterfly-style goaltending and staying in your butterfly and moving around the crease using your lower body. This has become a very serious thing, and I've seen it with a lot of goaltenders. Stress injuries, overuse injuries, chronic joint injuries. The amount of kids I've seen who have hip problems at between the ages of 18 to 20 years old, when they've been playing goaltender for already 10 years and are proficient at the butterfly style. This is certainly the recipe for overuse and chronic joint injuries, especially in those hip joints. Improved neurological development. The brain loves variety. Playing multiple sports creates better motor learning, faster problem solving, and greater adaptability. In hockey, players read the game faster when they've been exposed to many different athletic situations. I certainly, when I was a kid, my parents had me play everything. I played soccer. I played football when I was a little bit older. Basketball. I tried wrestling for a year. Not WWE. I probably would have been, I didn't have the height at 5'11" for that one. But I tried, traditional wrestling at the old Belmar Elementary School in New Jersey. I played baseball. I played lacrosse. My mom was a college tennis player, so I played tennis. And I loved all those games, and I still love those games. I love getting my son out there to play tennis on the weekends when we can do it. So those motor skills allowed me to be a kid who had 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, wasn't on the ices as much as other kids. But by the time I got to 15 and 16, I had an athletic base, which helped me to get catch up very quickly and in most times surpass kids in my peer group. Increased long-term motivation. Kids stay excited when they have variety, when they have different teammates, different coaches, different environments. They experience different challenges. Burnout often comes when you're doing the same thing year-round over and over. That sounds like a job, folks. That is a job. All right. Now let's talk a little bit about some of the elite athletes, names we're familiar with, who were multiple sport players. Sidney Crosby was a big baseball fan, loved baseball, developed elite hand-eye coordination and his athletic movement powers by playing baseball in the spring. Joe Pavelski, an American player, he was an outstanding baseball player as well. Many scouts pointed his hand-eye coordination as one of the best in hockey. Nathan MacKinnon was a multiple sport player from the same area as Sidney Crosby. If you go back a little bit further, guys like Adam Oates was one of the elite lacrosse players in Canada. Wayne Gretzky was a phenomenal baseball player as well, was a big Toronto Blue Jays fan. So these are just the surface, just a few of the ideas of these players who became great hockey players, but they grew up playing multiple sports. Now, parents, what you should do, my recommendation between ages 6 and 12, encourage multiple sports: hockey, soccer, baseball, lacrosse, basketball, track and field. Build athletes first. At all my hockey camps, we play more than just hockey. We play soccer, we play capture the flag, we play kickball, we play all sorts of different fun things. We play street hockey, obviously, which is basically hockey, but that's neither here nor there. Then between ages 13 to 15, you begin to focus more on the sport of your choice. And in some cases, that may be hockey, but it might be something else. And you still maintain athletic diversity. Now at 13 to 15, you're getting through the puberty stage. You can start to introduce some long-term athletic development like strength and conditioning, even more so into your daily habits and your daily lifestyle. Then from 16 plus, more or less the sport chooses you. If you're the type of person that has a couple different avenues where you could pursue and be equally good, that's a benefit. But oftentimes you go with what really works well, what you're really good at. And at that point, if hockey becomes your primary sport, more power to you. But it might find that you might be into baseball or lacrosse or soccer or some of the other ones. So my question of the week, so my 11-year-old plays spring hockey or another sport. If they love hockey, some spring hockey is fine. But don't underestimate the value of soccer, lacrosse, baseball, tennis, golf, or simply being an athlete. Athletic development is hockey development. There was a couple years ago, I went to a optometrist here in the Lakes region in New Hampshire, and he was trying to really move into the athletic market. And there were some amazing games and tools which he was using for athletics to measure or track your eye movement, increase your hand-eye coordination, your reaction time. And there's so many games now which are available even on your laptop or on your phone or tablet, which can increase those kind of mental acuity where you're developing your hand-eye coordination through a tablet. And I wouldn't say do this every single time. You got to get up and move your body. But even those types of exercises, if you introduce them once a week or a few times a week, they can be a great way to develop some different neurological skills that can really make a big impact in your game. And I'd also say at that, post-puberty, getting in the weight room is essential. You're going to prevent injuries. You're going to be more powerful. So any kind of skating, habits that are either positive or negative are going to be amplified and improved by strength in your lower body, strength in your core. So that really has to be a consideration too. Now, the best players aren't always the ones who played the most hockey at age 10. They're often the athletes who developed the widest foundation, stayed healthy, and kept loving the game. Build the athlete first. The hockey player will follow. Hopefully that gave you some insight, hockey fans or Snapshot podcast fans, in terms of some scientific data to back it up and also some real-world examples in that multi-sport philosophy. Don't just do what your neighbors are doing. There's a lot of negatives that can come from just replicating things that are not long-term beneficial. Step out on your own, encourage play, encourage multi-sport participation, get new coaches, different coaches, and watch your player thrive in that new environment. Thanks again for tuning in. Remember, every Friday, the Snapshots Hockey Show with a different topic drops on YouTube. So like and subscribe to Scoring Concepts on YouTube. This comes out either Tuesday or Wednesday every single week on Spotify. And pick up some of my books on Amazon, like the Hockey Development Hub on Substack, or even check out the AI Hockey Advisor, www.aihockeyadvisor.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you soon.